now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, um, as I was just saying, uh, people in the West go to Westerners to find out about Buddhism, and the Westerners never found out about Buddhism in the first place.
Mm.
That some of the most famous teachers didn't spend hardly a year in Asia, and they're missing out on a major key ingredient. And that key ingredient that's missing is part of the Eightfold Noble Path, and that is to make a change, the right noble effort to change. That's why it's going to be a lifestyle change, but we're not changing a lifestyle, we're changing what's happening in this very moment, moment by moment by moment. And if you change this moment over and over and over again, that will reflect eventually in a lifestyle change. But Westerners would rather read books and talk and discuss and think about it without actually taking the right effort to make a change.
Right.
That's the key point. And so, what is the change? Is to change the thoughts that we're having right in this moment. So, in fact, there are three primary ingredients for the Eightfold Noble Path. The first three ingredients are to remember to do this, to
Mm.
remember to be present moment, to remember to look at what you're thinking, to look at what you're doing, to look at what the body is doing, to look at how you're feeling, to look at what kind of thoughts that you have, and to
Mm-hmm.
look at what kind of mind attitude or mind state, the sort of attitude do you have. And that almost all Westerners start off with the attitude of a victim.
Mm. Yeah.
We need help. We're not able to do it ourselves. In fact, this is probably a holdover from Christianity, which has been teaching people for centuries you need Jesus. You
Yeah.
can't do it on your own. You've got an original sin. You're broken. And even
Yeah.
though many people are atheists, they still were raised in that culture of somehow you're broken.
Absolutely. I think that's very. I live in Spain, but I'm Swedish by nationality, and I think even though Sweden is very atheistic and very secular, I think it's just another form of Lutheranism in a way, because they
Hmm.
changed that to other, punish
Right.
yourself, work hard, you know.
So while the atheists need a big daddy called a God, the atheists need a big daddy called government.
Exactly. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And now they're gone, you know.
And the real teaching of the Buddha is to come out of needing anything and fix the problems that we have ourselves. And the fixing of the problem is to just ignore the problem.
Mm,
That in fact we don't have any problems. That all the problems that humanity has were dreamt up, invented.
right.
Like, for instance, the king thinks that he needs a lot of groceries, and so he hires an army to go out and steal the groceries from all the farmers. This is called feudalism.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been living under a feudalistic system to where even the aristocrats now are feeling victims because if they can't steal what they need, they
Mm,
suffer. They can't do without the stealing, and the poor
mm,
people have to put up with the stealing, and they want some sort of government that doesn't steal from them. And the best thing to do is just to walk away from any big governments, just to walk away. And
yeah.
so these 3 points of look at what the mind is doing and make a change, like being dependent upon a government, being dependent upon a religion, being dependent upon a psychotherapist, being dependent upon a doctor. Whatever our
Mm.
dependencies are, we really don't need that in order to feel good. What we need to do is to change the way we feel, to stop feeling the way that we were in the habit of feeling and start to feel the way that we want to feel. So I'll ask you that question. If you could feel right now the way that you wanted to feel right now, how would you feel right now?
Yeah, exactly, like a winner.
Like a
Like
winner.
can do spirit.
Exactly. So this is the practice that we do,
Mm-hmm.
is to see the unwholesome thoughts are actually thoughts of I need help, thoughts of losers, thoughts of problems that need to be solved, thoughts of places to go and things to do and items to purchase and spiritual goals to make,
Mm.
instead of just being satisfied with the way things are right now. So we have to practice because we have gotten into such a bad habit.
Mm.
We have been talking ourselves into feeling bad because we want things. And now it's time to talk ourselves into feeling good by seeing that we got everything that we need in order to feel good right now.
Yeah, that's such a but there's I don't see a lot of sanghas or dhamma centers or whatever who are communicating this so effectively and so clear. It's even this
Well,
is the
that's
first time.
because they don't know what they're talking about.
Well, they
And
must have
they
some
learned what
lineage.
well they learned what they learned from a Dhamma teacher who didn't know what he was talking about.
Mm,
And in
right,
fact, that's what happens in universities is that people get degrees and start teaching, and they don't know what they're talking about. If the
right,
students are lucky, the teacher begins to figure out what he's
right.
supposed to teach and then starts teaching what he needs to teach rather than teaching what he was told to teach. Dhamma
Yes.
teachers are not so lucky.
Mm,
They continue to teach what they're told to teach and they keep reading books, and they haven't figured out yet that what we
mm,
need to do is to change our attitude,
right.
to change our thoughts, to change the way we feel, to
Yes.
change our
Yes.
posture, to change the body in the sense
Hmm.
of allowing it to relax.
Right. Right.
And so we're full of tension because we're full of wants and desires. And all we have to do is to just drop that and start having thoughts of everything is okay, everything is fine, nothing to do, no place to
Mm.
go, everything is all right.
Right.
And
But
then we
it's
can feel the way that we want to feel. And in fact, in that case, it would feel relief. Oh, what a relief it is. I don't have to do anything.
mm, yeah. But it's a hard conversion there to start making that thought
It,
pattern.
as soon as someone does it, it's easy enough to do, but as soon as they do it, then they'll revert back to the old way because it's habit bound.
Mm, yeah.
And so we have to remember to keep doing this over and over again. We
Yes.
need to
Yes.
practice.
Uh-huh. Right. Right. No, I've
And to
been. Yeah.
any skill, in fact, requires practice. Whether you're going to play the violin or play baseball or
Sure.
martial arts or dancing, whatever it is, it requires practice.
Absolutely.
And so this
Absolutely.
also requires practice because we're already in the habit of feeling bad, doing what we're told to do and not liking it, wanting things we don't have and not liking it. So now we have to practice liking whatever it is right here, right now is good enough and it's okay.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Just be with whatever is.
Well, they tell the students that at the Dhamma Center, but they don't put that key ingredient into it that you actually have to take the effort to
Mm,
come out of your wanting and suffering and take the effort to be okay with what's happening right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the one I've been associated with here is hasn't even done that. It's been more kind of trying to form a lifestyle around the Sangha, but not a lifestyle based on the actual Eightfold Noble Path and the original teachings. More a kind of pseudo, something.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's some of the teachers that got me into spirituality was a lot about that, but in a real life context, I haven't seen that being effectively communicated until I came across your dialogues, and so
Yes, they have the form, but not the spirit. They've
you know,
got the letter of the law, but they don't know how to apply it.
yeah,
And it's actually quite easy to do, but it's required to be done over and over again. We need to practice it. Then, in fact, they've gotten into the habit of talking about practicing for 1 or 2 hours a day for a long sitting, where in
yes,
fact the human mind doesn't have that kind of attention span until it's trained to have a long attention span. And so the best thing to do is to practice for short periods of time, often throughout the day, 5, 6, 7 times at 10 minutes each will fill that hour. And the absolutely best time to practice is right when you wake up in the morning, before you get out of bed. You
right.
start practicing, everything
Oh,
is all right. What a nice moment this is.
yes. Well, I've started to apply that. Well, since I really got into your dialogues, trying to start with wholesome thoughts, and that, and it's changing, to be honest. It is it's remarkable what you can really kind of think yourself into. I was going to say talk yourself, but it's more of
Right.
thinking yourself into.
We
Because
actually learn to talk ourselves into feeling good.
Mhm.
We talk ourselves into changing our attitude. We
Right.
talk ourselves into relaxing. And the best part is that the talking ourselves into it is saying real things. These are not affirmations to where we're thinking we're talking about the things we want. We're actually talking about the things we've already got, the
Mm.
reality of the situation,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
practice reality. Right now, everything's okay.
Hmm.
Right now, nothing's dangerous.
Yeah, and I actually seen that I mean, for the little I've been kind of being influenced from your dialogue, is that it can actually, because if you apply it to a work situation, for example, I work as a consultant in international business, and where you're so easily getting caught up in a kind of, not paranoid, but like this kind of chased up mindset or strategizing. But actually, if you're just trying to face everything as everything is all right, also I think you can even apply it into work in a more effective way, because you're, instead
Hmm.
of building up all these scenarios or
Right.
stressors, you just kind
Well, if
of
you'll think about it, the business model is a
mm,
broken model.
mm-hmm,
It's intentionally broken in the sense of, oh, you need to sell more stuff. Oh, you need to upgrade. Oh, you need to lower your taxes. Oh, you need to sell more. Oh, you need to produce more. Everything is built upon lack and loss up to the
mm,
point of a gross national product.
yes,
Only the country of Bhutan has a gross happiness product.
I know,
All the other countries want to produce, and thinking that production brings happiness. And in
yes,
fact, production doesn't bring happiness. At best, it destroys the planet.
uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you can apply this in the business as a consultant is to help people to relax. You don't have to work so hard. You can begin to enjoy your life.
mm, sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. it's I think actually it can benefit also your work in the sense also, yeah, exactly, that you're more.
Actually, people can become more productive when they're not driven to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that in fact we play. We begin to do things because we like to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Instead
It's
of
just
seeing how much work there is to do, we can say, I can do it right now. I can do this right now. I can enjoy doing this right now.
Mm. No, that's something that I sensed. I mean, it's been very. I've been going deeper in your dialogues. I was at a bit of a crossroad and not very wholesome, coming out of a not very wholesome phase. And I think it's really been a major change. So I'm really happy that I can have a direct. So now I want to apply it more to my my meditation and my Dhamma practice. Because that's a that's a I want to go deeper on that path and
Well,
do you
this
know
is not
the
deep. We don't go deep. We
no,
just
I
enjoy
know.
this moment. Going deep takes a shovel. It takes a backhoe. Going deep
Okay.
requires a whole lot of work. We don't have anything to go deep into. Just what we've got right now is good enough.
Yes.
Why
Yeah.
dig a hole when we've got the grass?
No, okay. More wholesome then, in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
And
No,
yet
I
in
think
Western Buddhism, they always talking about going deep,
right, right, right,
and there's
right.
nothing down there.
There's a Western old Stoic philosopher, Seneca. He used to say, "Life is not a journey between A and B. It's a unit you have to live." Something like that. It's like
Hmm.
you have to feel it in. There's actually true. There's no, yeah. So no deeper path. Just more of a wholesome moment. I guess it's what I'm looking for.
Yes,
That's
in this
and
present
it's it.
moment, let's have a wholesome moment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So where would you suggest I begin? I mean, I'm interested to understand a lot of the concepts that the
We actually don't need a lot of concepts.
hmm,
That in fact, this society that we're in, it promotes conceptualized thinking.
I know it's terrible.
And that what we need to do instead of having critical thinking, let's have nurturing thinking. Let's nurture. Everything is all right. Okay.
Hmm.
Instead of telling the young child inside to shut up and do what you're told to do, we can say goo goo gaga.
Yeah,
Yeah, stop being so critical
right.
and start being nurturing. This is okay. Everything is fine. That's the teaching of the Buddhists to come out of our dissatisfactions
Hmm.
and become satisfied. Critical thinking is all about being dissatisfied,
Yeah.
critiquing, trying to fix something that's broken. And guess what? Nothing's really broken. Everything is already okay.
Yeah. That. But the conceptual mindset is so ingrained in you. You gotta. That's the only way to survival, isn't it? I mean,
That's
that's
what
what they
they
tell you.
that's what they taught. And yet people, what kind of survival do people wind up with? Not much. They survive, but they don't uh, have a good time at it. They're not enjoying their life.
No, no, you see so much neurosis everywhere. You know.
And so start to nurture. Start to tell yourself everything is okay, everything is fine, not a worry in the world, everything's going to be all right, everything's going to be fine.
Yes.
And we
Yeah, yeah,
practice
yeah.
that way and we become content. We become satisfied. And that if you probably heard me say that the Buddha's teaching of dukkha, dukkha nirodha is
Yes.
that we are dissatisfied, and we can come back into a state of satisfaction very easily, and that's all the Buddha ever taught,
So
is to come out of
Naroda,
our wanting stuff in the far future and start enjoying this moment.
so dukkha Naroda is the Naroda is cessation, yes.
Yes. Stop being dissatisfied. Start being satisfied. Stop finding out what's wrong and just let everything be okay the way it is.
Mm. Yeah, and it's funny how that is so. Actually, it's very quickly achievable.
It is.
Really, it's very.
But it's also easy to lose it, and so we have to come back and do it again.
Yes.
Because we're in the habit of critical thinking. So we have to practice over and over being in a nurturing thought process.
Mm.
To stop being a victim to all the problems and start being the champion of nothing much at all.
Yeah. Right. Well, it was funny because I've been trying to apply your these what do you call it, ideas or you know, just also this kind of things that's been stressing me and bugging me out about certain obligations, you know, like normal stress factors of the, you know, tribulations in life. And then yesterday I've been managing to actually put it away and be more in the wholesome moment. But yesterday I was physically confronted on this, you know, like in real life on my way back home. And after it all went okay, but it's kind of it. I still started to physically manifest, like almost getting like Tourette like after that, but it was fine, you know. So when there's one thing to actually apply it in your when you're just going on your own, or you know, when you're not when you're physically confronted, I noticed that it's after that I kind of I couldn't really stay in the even when it passed, you know, I was still kind of it was still having eating me, so to speak. But I guess the next step would be actually when yeah.
We can do this anytime that we remember to do it. And so the trick is to remember often.
Yes. Right.
To
Well, I guess
practice
that would be the
remembering
next
often.
stage. Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
Carl, it was nice to meet you, and I'm glad to see that you're practicing correctly. I suggest that you go continue to do that and give me another call in a few days or a week or so, and we'll continue on.
Yeah, that would be a pleasure. And I have some actually. Okay, so should I ask? Do you have any recommendations for my meditation practice, or?
Yes, read the book Between Your Ears.
Okay. And there is one more thing I would like to ask you. I've been I applied and was accepted to a Cuenca retreat, which will be my first one in May. And
Okay.
since I also been getting into your stuff, I'm not sure if I should follow up on that.
I would recommend that you do the retreat,
All
but
right.
that you add my stuff or the stuff from the Buddha, not mine, but the stuff from the Buddha, add that to it, because they don't know it, so they don't bother to tell you. And so most of the people who do the retreats struggle. They don't like it.
Okay.
They work at it. And here now you have the secret of just go to the retreat and enjoy it. Keep coming back and remembering, oh, everything is okay. Everything is fine. Go and enjoy the retreat, because that retreat setting, if you practice correctly, will greatly improve your skill of being able to come back to the present moment happily. But you have to practice correctly. But going to a retreat is a really excellent time or a place to go practice correctly.
Sure, sure. No, okay, that's great. That's great, because I thought maybe you would discourage me, or it would be another method that could be, or something like
No,
that.
I'm not against retreats at all. What I'm against is people not practicing correctly and wasting their time and being frustrated at the retreat.
Clear. Okay, got it. Good. All right. So I'll stick to that. And then there was another question I wanted to ask you. I've been pondering part of one of the suttas, the one with the snake, because I heard you've been
Yeah,
referring to it in some
yes.
dialogue.
Yeah, the simile of the snake is Sutta number 22. It's actually quite an excellent sutta. It's got a lot of stuff in
Yeah,
it.
I love it. And is it the 24? It's the 24, right? Is it 24?
22.
22.
22.
Yes. Well, yes, that one. I've been pondering over the raft.
Pardon?
I've been pondering over the raft analogy. The raft?
The raft. Yes.
It's in the same sutta.
Yes.
But I
What
still
that means
haven't.
is to don't cling to the practice.
Oh, okay.
Don't cling to the practice. Don't say, oh, I practiced meditation for 25 years. That's like clinging to the practice. So, what we want to cling to is the joy that we can manufacture right here in this very moment. We don't have to
Oh,
enshrine the raft, we don't have to carry it around with us to show it off.
okay, got
We
it.
just enjoy it.
Okay, good, because that's such a famous analogy. It's a famous Dhamma story, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was in that sutta, because I was reading it for the purpose of the other stuff, and then it came up, and I actually haven't really got why, the actual, what is the real meaning, and but now it makes sense, because it's still, does it suggest me to kind of, when I got smooth sailing with the practice, should I just kind of go back to my, should I start trying out my old habits?
All right. Well, very good. Okay, so let's finish the call now,
Yeah,
and I'll see you again soon.
sure. Thank you so much, Dhammarato. Have a
All
great
right.
weekend. Thank
Okay,
you.
you too. All right. Bye bye.
Bye.